beautiful, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello. Welcome. My name is Sarah. I am a yoga instructor and a cat mom, and for today's video we are going to be doing my March plan with me, my March bullet journal, theme, spread, whatever you want to call it. And I am so excited for the month of March. This is a month of a lot of planning for me. It's a month of getting everything together and ready for April. If you don't know, at the end of April, I will be leaving America for 2 years. I am moving to Australia for school, and I am so very excited and nervous, and there's so much to get done and get ready. And it's crazy to think I only have 2 months to get all of that done, which seems like a lot of time until you're actually looking at it all, and then you realize it's not a lot of time. But enough talking about it all, let's get into the spread. So if you've been watching all of my other bullet journal videos, spreads, plan with me's for this year, you would know that I've kind of been doing a challenge to myself. I've been trying to create bullet journals that are kind of my own, maybe taking very small inspiration from Pinterest or Instagram or other bullet journalers. And I've kind of been sticking with this theme of colorful circles for January. For February, I did sort of blobs and just made them all one color. And then for March, I wanted to kind of extend on that theme and start adding some of my own little doodles, some of my own little flowers, things that look good with the blobs. My idea is that as we sort of progress through this year, I'll slowly, sort of, for example, with the flowers here, next month I'll make the flowers bigger and the circles or the blobs a little bit smaller, and just slowly start to expand so that the whole bullet journal kind of ties together into one sort of very brought together theme. I think it's a really cool idea, and I'm really actually doing well on it this year. My inspiration for this month's page was actually based off a monthly calendar. So you guys will see that in the next picture. I kind of stuck to it because it was really simple. It was, you'll see it. We'll explain it a little bit more. So I'm going to stop for that. We're going to put a pause on that and come back to it later. But again, so for my, what I'm coloring in, so the markers, I am using my Crayola Super Tip pens. And then for the black outlines, I am using my Sharpie Fine Tip pen. These are my go-to markers. I absolutely love them. The Sharpie pen, it does not bleed through. The Crayolas do not bleed through. And then if you see that light green for the word today in March, I decided to go ahead and use a Tombow dual brush pen. These are a little bit more expensive, but they are really good. So if you're looking to invest in some stationery, I highly recommend giving them a try. Or if you want to go for the cheaper option, Crayola and the Sharpies are always the way to go. But okay, now we're into the monthly calendar, so we're gonna unpause it and talk about my inspiration. So my inspiration this month, I'll go ahead and put up a picture of it. As you can see, the calendar part of this spread, I kind of stuck to it pretty straight. I actually used it as a guide to show me what colors to color in what days, and I've never done something like this, and I really like that I found it. Of course, this was the only inspiration I took from this picture. I really like the way that they colored in the days, and I was thinking, okay, how can I make this my own? And I was like, sticking with my theme that I'm trying to sort of build upon for my last few months, let's do the blobs. And what looks really good with blobs? Flowers look great. And so that's how my theme for this month came to be. And I really, really enjoy the way it looked. When I was first sort of drawing it out in pencil, I really was kind of regretting picking this theme. I did not like it at all, but I had already finished everything, and I really just did not want to go and erase all of this. And so I decided to stick with it. I was like, if I don't like it, it's just a month. I can come back to it next month and expand, do what I want, do something that's more creative. But at the end, when I was looking over my flip through I was like, this turned out so much better than I was expecting. I was not expecting it to be as sort of creative, and I kind of want to say like jaw-dropping, because I was not expecting it to look like this at all. And I just love the way it turned out. And I hope you guys end up enjoying it in the flip through as well. And just to talk about some dimensions here, for the boxes of the days, they are 5x5s with 1 square in between each day, which kind of does leave, it makes it a really big calendar, which for me works great because this is a space or a place that I use very frequently. I flip to this on a daily basis, not only just to look at what day is, like what day of the week is that number, or like if the first is on a Tuesday, or so on and so forth. And I just really liked the way that it turned out. Now, talking about my flowers, these flowers are really simple, and I truly just kind of threw together flowers that I knew I could draw really simply. And I also tried to pick flowers that I could use as a mood tracker. We're gonna get to that soon, so we'll get into it a little bit later. But I wanted to pick something that was going to be easy and not very time consuming, because I knew this spread was already gonna take a lot of time to execute. It actually ended up taking me about 2 hours to finish this whole spread. And somehow I have narrowed it down to what I think this video is 10 minutes. I don't think it's more than 12. I don't really remember how long it is. But it does take me a while to do these spreads, so I wanted to pick something that was going to be not very time consuming so that I could cut down on how long it would take me. But okay, so we have moved on to my go-to spreads. If you've been following me for a while, you would know this spread. If you're new here, this is my meals and income spread. This is something I use on a day-to-day basis. Both of these spreads, I don't just use my meal page when I go grocery shopping. This is something I come to very frequently. I come to it when I'm grocery shopping, but also when I come home from a long day at work and I'm like, okay, this is what we're having tonight. I like to just open this page up and be like, okay, these are the exact ingredients I need to get from the pantry, the kitchen, and the spice rack. And it really helps kind of cut down on time of cooking and grocery shopping, and being able to pick your meals before going grocery shopping will also save you a lot of money. And speaking of money, of course, I think an income and expense tracker is something that everyone should have. It's something that it's kind of like just keeping track of what you're spending. I know, like for me, when I use my credit card, sometimes I'll forget like what I'm spending my money on. Whereas like if I use my credit card and come straight here and just be like, okay, this is what I spent and this is what it was for and this is how much it cost and how much I have left. It kind of just helps me keep in mind kind of how much money I have left over left over for those big things like rent or electricity, all those important adult stuff. So moving on to my mood and habit tracker. This is one of my favorite spreads just for aesthetic purposes. I really like the way that these two spreads look together. These two pages look together. I think they look great. There's not really much to say about it. I just stuck with the theme. And I made the flowers that I used a lot bigger than they were on the other sides, and I made sure that the big flowers, there were 31 of them. That way there was enough for each day for me to color in and fill out throughout the month. And then for my habits, I'm just tracking my regular habits, things like yoga, things like journaling, getting outside, drinking a gallon of water, playing Animal Crossing, because you know it's one of my favorite things to do. What else? There's working out and there's taking my medicine. I think that's it of what I track. Sometimes I feel like when you track too much, it can get overwhelming and almost start to feel like a chore of tracking, which is never what I want. So we're not gonna, I never try to put too many. I try to do things that I know that I want to do on a day-to-day basis. So things that I just want to track here and there. And I did kind of skip myself filling out all of the circles of the habit tracker, just because, like I said, this was borderlining on 2 hours. So I decided that I would fill them out when I had time, just making sure that it was before I filmed the final flip through, which will be here shortly, do not worry. But okay, so I think I've really talked about everything. I've talked about the markers that I'm using. I've talked about my theme. I did think I forgot to mention that I was adding little like dots and lines throughout the trackers and throughout the pages. So hopefully you've kind of caught on through that throughout the last few pages. But I've also added, like I have for all of my other spreads so far this year, I have been going ahead and outlining the pages, which to me, oh my gosh, makes the biggest difference. I don't know why it makes such a difference, but I absolutely love the way that outlining the pages makes it look. And then here we are, doing my first 2 weekly spreads. Since not a lot is going on in my life, I'm only working, and well, I do work 2 jobs, but I'm not going to school, so I really don't have, I do have a lot going on, but not as much as if I was in school, where I would need 2 whole pages for 1 week. So I am doing 2 weeks here. I don't quite remember the dimensions of each of these sort of outlines. I just divided the page up and then filled it in where each day had as much space as possible, and then the coloring I did match up with the calendar, so I still colored in some of them and I didn't color in some of them. If you look back at my whole monthly calendar, the days that I've colored in with each color actually match up perfectly with the monthly calendar. So that's about it. I really like the way it turned out. I didn't bring any flowers or anything else to these pages because I did want to keep it really simple. Like I said, 2 hours. It's a long time to be sitting in one space and one place and coloring, and as much as I love bullet journaling, it does get really tiring after 2 hours, so I just wanted to keep it simple. And I actually like how simple and cute that it turned out. So yeah, there's not really much to say. We are so close to the final flip through. So before getting in, I just want to give you a big thank you for making it this far into the video. I hope you've liked it so far. I hope you are as excited for March as I am. Here we are, the final look, the final flip through of my March bullet journal. Please ignore the wrinkle parts at the bottom. That's not from the colors or the markers. That's from me erasing too hard with my eraser, trying to get the pencil marks away. But I truly was not expecting this bullet journal spread, this theme, to turn out as amazing as it did. I thought it was going to be something I didn't really enjoy, but I ended up loving it. I ended up loving it, and I hope you all enjoy and love it as much as I do. Please let me know down in the comment sections if you do like it. Give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see more bullet journaling content. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any bullet journaling content or any big moving content. But until next time, have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you later.